When it comes to weight gain in menopause, you could almost describe a perfect storm. There are several things going on that lead around 50% of women to gain up to 10 kilos over the period of their perimenopause. The first thing is estrogen. Losing estrogen changes the way your body lays down fat. Losing estrogen doesn't make you gain weight, just where you put that weight. Your metabolism is slowing down as a result of lost muscle tissue. And there's also an element of what you're doing that's causing you to take too many calories in and not expend enough calories through exercise and movement. One thing I can assure you is that the weight gained during perimenopause can be reversed. But you're not going to do that following a weight loss regime that might have worked for you in your 30s. You now have a different body. It needs a different approach. And I would really urge you to think about doing a lifelong lifestyle plan. You're going to remain a menopausal woman for the rest of your life. Whatever you do now to control your weight, you're going to need to do for the rest of your life. That means no fads, no gimmicks, and no quick fixes. There is a unique diet needed to lose weight in menopause. It's unique to you. The reason it has to be unique to you is because the reason you've gained weight is because some of the habits of your lifestyle have attributed to that. In order to reverse it, we're going to need to change some of those things. Now, they'll be really simple. They may be slightly too large portion sizes. Perhaps you drink a little too much alcohol. Perhaps you graze through snacks between meals without planning those. It could be all manner of things. But in order to create the diet that is going to keep you in control of your weight over your menopause and the decades to come, the plan has to be personalized to you. There isn't an off-the-shelf weight loss plan. Start with a food diary. See where the big wins are. Make 1 or 2 changes and get those right, and then add to them. Weight management is a lifelong plan. That's going to mean that the changes you make to your diet need to be things that you can maintain over the long term. If they feel too big, if they feel too challenging to do forever, you probably need to make them a little bit more realistic. So you might just start with eating regularly, planning snacks, looking at how you balance the food groups on your plate, having a small amount of protein, a small amount of carbohydrates, lots of fruits and vegetables. Plan snacks so you don't get too hungry and go into meals feeling ravenous so that you eat until you're stuffed. Satiety is just a feeling of, I no longer need to eat, and many of us don't recognize that. It's also really important at perimenopause to start thinking about how active you are, how much you move. And that's going to be a combination of simple aerobic exercise like walking, but also including some strength exercise. We need to replace lost muscle tissue to maintain your metabolism. We also need some restorative exercise, yoga, Pilates, to nurture the muscles that you're going to be using to exercise. You're in this for the long haul. There really are no such things as good and bad foods. It's good and bad diets that affect our health. Eating something like fish and chips and a couple of glasses of wine on a Friday night is no problem at all if that's something you do once or twice a month. Choose to do that 3 or 4 times a week and it becomes a problem. So instead of focusing on individual foods, try looking at your diet as an overall thing. Are you including lots of fruits and veg? Do you choose whole grains quite often? Have you got oily fish there once or twice a week? What are you doing about adding salt to your diet? How many sweet foods are you choosing throughout the week? That's the way that you can take a diet that really isn't supporting your nutrition and weight terribly well and transforming it into one that is going to lead you into menopause in good health, in control of your weight, but most importantly, into the decades ahead of you, feeling like you've got this, that you never have to do it again. We know that women in their 40s and 50s are drinking more alcohol than they ever used to. And that is certainly going to contribute to weight gain if that applies to you. Alcohol contains 7 calories a gram. That's just a little less than fat. And if you think carbohydrate, protein contains 4 calories a gram. Alcohol doesn't bring any nutrition to the table either. So it's what we call empty calories. And of course, we all know a little too much alcohol and our willpower, our inhibitions all disappear, and we often get quite peckish for salty or sugary foods at the same time. So have a look at a food diary, see how much alcohol you are consuming, and also see if when you consume alcohol, does that correlate with you choosing other foods that you know are not really helping? If that's the case, try to cut back or cut down, but you don't have to give up altogether. A lot of women are really worried about the idea of weight gain when they start taking HRT. Now, if we look at the clinical evidence, and there are many good quality trials, we just don't see the evidence that going onto HRT automatically means you're going to gain weight. Having said that, I see many women in clinic who do experience weight gain once they start taking HRT. Now, looking at the clinical evidence, we have to assume the HRT itself is probably not causing that. But what might be causing it is the fact that you feel better, that you start getting back into the world again, you start enjoying life again. And that can often have an impact on the foods, the alcohol you're choosing, but it may not always be the case. Some women do find that the progesterone element of their HRT can sometimes make them retain a little bit of water, and that can be mistaken for weight gain, but that often calms down after a little while. If you really are concerned and really do feel that your weight and HRT are aligned, it's really worth talking about that with your HRT prescriber. Don't just stop your HRT because of it. Taking a supplement will never make a bad diet good. It will also never replace a really good, balanced diet. So always start with food first. If we look at the evidence, though, we do see that women do need one supplement, which is vitamin D. We simply don't get enough exposure to sunlight to make enough. That's one supplement of 10 micrograms a day, or 400 international units. They're the same amount, just given in different measurements. Now, that's the only supplement that we recommend for all women. Anything else would be on clinical need. You might need calcium if you don't consume enough dairy foods, or you might need an iron supplement if you're anemic. But you don't need to add supplements just because that's what celebrities do. If you want to choose any other supplement to add to your diet, one good quality multivitamin and mineral supplement is ideal as an insurance policy, but that's it. Digestive health issues like bloating, abdominal pain, changes in bowel habits are not uncommon at perimenopause. Sometimes women who have a history of digestive health issues find those change at menopause. For other women who've never had a problem, things can start to get uncomfortable around this time. Now, you don't need to leap straight into an exclusion diet or follow any type of plan that you might read about in social media. First of all, we need to get a picture of your symptoms, of your diet, and your lifestyle. It can just be as simple as changing the fiber in your diet or including a little more fluid. But sometimes we do need to intervene, and there are lots of well-evidenced procedures we can go through, interventions with exclusion diets that can really help. But if you're going to do that, talk to a nutrition professional, a registered nutritionist, or a registered dietitian. They will be able to help you, and they'll be able to follow the evidence, not the hype. Exercise and movement in perimenopause and menopause is absolutely non-negotiable. What it can do is make the difference between surviving your menopause and really thriving through your menopause, starting to get a little more active without overdoing it. You don't need to go to the gym and you don't need to enroll in classes. You can just start with simple walking, easy resistance exercise using your own body weight as resistance, and not forgetting a little restorative exercise like yoga or simple stretching. These three forms of exercise together really are going to help manage your weight, manage your flexibility, but also nurture your muscles and give you the strength to really thrive in these years ahead of you. When it comes to perimenopause and menopause, it can be really quite overwhelming to begin with. And there are so many things that it's being suggested you do. What I would say is start, first of all, if you're struggling with symptoms, look at how you're going to manage those. Start to feel better. And then start looking at your lifestyle. You can look at your diet, you can look at your physical activity levels, and you can look at self-care. Self-care isn't indulgent. It's not something for movie stars and celebrities. It's something every woman needs to do. The expectations on a menopausal woman in the 2020s are so much higher than they were in the 1950s and earlier. You're spinning plates. Some of those plates possibly need to change a little bit to make life a little bit easier, and make time for yourself. That might just be half an hour to lie in the bath. It might be to go and get a facial, go and get a massage, or just go outside and get some fresh air. But you deserve this time.